Hey, well, hi everybody. I'm Shelley Sheridan, and I just welcome everybody to this presentation. And we're going to cover information that works for active living, as well as the weekend warrior, as well as somebody who's an elite athlete or somebody who does intense workouts. You just have to vary it to the level that you're working at, but the information I think will be helpful across all boards of active levels for sure. Go to the next. Is it jamming on there already?
It gives it a, yeah, sometimes it takes a while for it.
Yeah, so it's really interesting that we are doing this because these are some pictures of me being extremely active. My background is a teacher, as a phys ed teacher, and I've done coaching as well as playing volleyball. The one with the bike was the 200-kilometer ride to conquer cancer, riding from Toronto to Hamilton, then Hamilton to Niagara. The one with the obstacle was running a 5K mud run with 28 different obstacles, which was about 5-6 years ago now. And then Nada and I, at the last convention down in Arizona, we went fat tire biking, which was so great getting up, but we had to get up really early. I think it was like 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock. And then we rode for 3 hours before we went to our meeting. So both of us like to be very active. And it's really interesting that we're doing this because most of you know my story that 12 days ago, I broke my leg. And so at this point, one would think I'm not being active, obviously, by those slides. However, I know that being active and being healthy is really helping me with my recovery, as well as staying strong with exercises, modified exercises, so that I can move through this recovery. And then once I've healed, continued. So these are the effects of exercise. Creates tremendous short-term damage at the cellular level. So we really have to figure out how to control that damage. Inflammation occurs for all active people. The free radical production and damage, much greater than with non-athletes. Continuous exercise, overtraining can compromise the immune system. Protein is lost as a result of exercise, stresses on the joints and the tendons, and increases need for specific nutrients. So you need to make sure when you're doing your exercises that you are feeding your body one way or another to fill those gaps and get that back. So here are a few tips that we're going to cover first. Basic tips. First is have a healthy breakfast. You don't want to skip that. You want to feed your body so that it's ready to go during the day, so that it's ready for that exercise that you're going to be doing. The second thing is to stay hydrated. Water is so important. It helps carry nutrients and oxygen to your cells. It composes 75% of your brain as you're thinking as to how you want to exercise. It helps convert your food to your energy, cushions those joints. So important to stay hydrated. The other thing that we want to do is boost our immune system. And those fruits and vegetables are really huge for boosting your immune system. And this was something that I was reading. Beth Jariah, who was a head trainer for the specialized Lululemon women's cycling team, she says that she encourages all of her riders, including Olympic contenders Evelyn Stevens and Amber Neben, to incorporate whole grain carbs, lean protein, and colorful fruits and vegetables into their snacks and meals every day. The more color on your plate, the better it is, she says. So important. Another thing you want to look at when you are exercising is choosing iron-rich foods. So according to the experts, it's quite common for athletes, especially women, to be deficient in iron, which could slow you down and increase your risk of injury in any sport. Be sure to include plenty of iron-packed products such as oatmeal, red meat, spinach into your athlete's diet. And this was from the sports nutritionist, Dawn Scott, a fitness coach for the US women's national soccer team. So these are all from different articles that I've been reading over the years. The fifth thing to be aware of is just to eat really healthy meals and snacks. Whether you are somebody to love being in the kitchen or somebody like me who that's not my passion. So I need to do meal prepping to make sure that I eat well and healthy so that I'm feeding my body with the best nutrients that I can, both with my main meals and my mini meals and snacks that I have in between. Because really, you are what you eat. And we want to make sure that we give our body the best nutrients and the best chance to have the energy that we need to exercise. And if anything should happen, as it has for me, that we have the nutrients and the defenses to help that healing as well. I really like the changes that have occurred with the Canadian Food Guide. As a teacher for 32 years, I love this new division of looking at your vegetables and fruit for half of your plate. You're looking at your protein for a quarter, and you're also looking at your whole grains, which Nada will also share about with those whole grains. And it's important that water is your drink of choice. So Nada, if I've been with Neolife now for 12 years, you've introduced, and I'll share a little bit about my story later on, but goodness, you've been with Neolife for years. And so I'll let you share more about the company and what you've learned from them.
Absolutely. So I'm excited to be actually doing this presentation with Shelley because I love being active, and she does challenge me a little bit when we go to convention. She always wants to do something, different and leave the hotel and go be adventurous. And it's always doing something very physical. So I'm so grateful to have Shelley as a friend. We kind of have a lot in common, especially with the healthy eating. But I have to share with you that 33 years ago, when I was introduced to Neolife, I never took supplements. I was working as a police officer in Toronto, and I was really struggling with fatigue. And I had a hormonal imbalance, really bad PMS, environmental allergies, and I started to develop some joint pain in my knees. I played a lot of basketball and volleyball growing up, so a lot of pounding. And back then we did a lot of high impact aerobics, step aerobics, remember those days? And my knees really started to bother me. So I had to stop a lot of the high impact sports, and I started speed walking and doing more low impact. And my mom was very ill at the time, and we were introduced to Neolife by a neighbor and a dear friend. And the products made a huge impact in my life. And I'm back to in my 50s, and I exercise regularly. I don't have any joint pain. And my mom is doing amazing in her 70s. So good nutrition and good supplementation did really change our life. But this study, and this is interesting because this is a recent study that was published in Lancet, and it's a world study, and they actually proved that it's what we aren't eating is what's killing us. And it was a global study. And some of the nutrients that they talk about in this study are some of the nutrients that I started to look at 33 years ago that changed my life with more energy and hormonal balance. I'm going to talk about some of these nutrients in the study. And they talked about low whole grains, low fruit, nuts, and seeds, low omega-3, and low vegetables. But the area of the grains is the part that really drew me to the company, because I thought I was eating healthy. I was buying whole grains, I was staying away from white processed foods, but I didn't understand is what man has done to wheat and our grains with the processing and milling. And, and it's so important to have these nutrients for recovery in any kind of athletic field. And also, for those of you that aren't in high sports, even just general activity, okay? So when you exercise, you do need to rest to recover for improvement, okay? So athletes who improve or enhance recovery will improve performance. And that's really important as well. Athletes that do not fully recover enter their next training or competition at a disadvantage, okay? Talked to a lot of young athletes where, if they don't recover, the next day, if they have to continue with their sporting event, they just don't do as well, okay? More rapid and complete recovery can help, again, immune function, okay? So really, really important to strengthen your immune system. So how to help with your recovery? So immediately after you finish a high intensity and or endurance activity, within 30 minutes, you should consume something made with a mix of protein and carbs, like whey protein shake, Okay, very, very important. This will help to reduce muscle soreness and aid in your muscle recovery. Says Dan Benardot. He's a professor at Emeritus of Nutrition and Kinesiology and Health at Georgia State University. And it was interesting because even 33 years ago, I'd heard about this, but it wasn't something I was practicing. I still thought that I could do it from getting it from my food, getting it from my meals, not understanding that it was some of these challenges were just getting enough of these essential nutrients from the food I was eating every day. And an article at the Canadian Running Magazine stated that most recovery shakes are made with whey protein. And it was interesting because I know Shelley, you shared this with me, a lot of your coaches are asking their kids to drink chocolate milk, okay, as a protein recovery kind of product. Well, chocolate milk contains less of the amino acid leucine than whey does. And leucine stimulates protein synthesis to help with repairing muscles. Okay, so chocolate milk really isn't the best choice. And plus, there's a lot of other things in chocolate milk that aren't really good for you. Also, the primary carbohydrate of chocolate milk is lactose, which is absorbed slowly. And this is not optimal for replenishing muscles quickly. Okay, so again, really important that you're looking at the source of protein and the quality of protein that you're going to be taking in as an athlete. So how can nutrition improve recovery? Specific nutrients are critical in the body's ability to recover and improve from stress of training, and deficiencies in certain nutrients can hinder improvement, recovery, and immune capacity. So it's so important for an athlete because if they don't strengthen their immune system, especially during competition, they get sick and then they're not able to perform, okay, especially at their highest level. So it's so important to strengthen their immune system. But, you know, when you're looking at supplementation and who do I trust? Well, you know, you need to look at products that have science. And with the Neolife products, when I was looking at the company and the products, the science is what drew me to the company, and they focused on cellular health because you're only as healthy as your cells. And Neolife is the first to champion whole food supplements. So it's based by nature and science. Okay, so this is something that's so important, that to follow Mother Nature's blueprint and to stay within that human food chain. Okay, we're going to talk quite a bit about that. And the whole grains today are no longer whole. This is the part where when I first saw this 33 years ago, I didn't understand this. So back in the 20s and 30s, if you were to buy a loaf of bread, that bread had a maybe day to 2 day shelf life. Now, how long does that loaf of bread last, right, in that plastic bag when you bring it home, right? Weeks. Your cereals last years, your pasta lasts forever. And it's because they've taken out the most critical nutrient of the grain, those lipids and phytosterols. And we're going to talk quite a bit about these nutrients because for an athlete, these nutrients are critical. And even if you're not an athlete, they're critical. So you can imagine. So again, when they remove the oils from this grain, they remove all these critical nutrients. Okay, the rice bran, which protects the seed, and all these nutrients are gone. The endosperm, you know, they remove the germ. All these critical vitamins and minerals and antioxidants are all removed because these nutrients, the grain oils, the lipids, they go rancid. So when they take them out, you're left with a little bit of fiber, okay? And it's processed. And then what they do is they enrich the flour, right, with synthetic vitamins and minerals. So you're not really getting those critical nutrients that were originally there when that grain and that wheat was grown, okay? This was a really neat article. Washington University, they printed this annual review of nutrition, and they talked about marathon runners can recover more quickly without the acute inflammation associated with excessive physical stress when given a sterol enriched supplement. Lipids and sterols, right? Lipids and phytosterols are those grain oils, okay? In addition to demonstrating quicker recovery times, the athletes taking the sterile supplements had immune systems that were less compromised post-exercise than those athletes that weren't supplementing with these sterols, okay? So this is critical. These lipids and phytosterols are critical to support the immune system because of the cell function. It just get your cells working better, okay? But when you're supplementing or you're looking at supplementation, you know, who do you trust? This is something that really drew me again, because my mom was taking supplements for a number of years with no results. Okay. She was not getting the results with her fibromyalgia, her aches and pains. She was really struggling with arthritis. And it was interesting because even now, I mean, there's so many articles and they're finding, this was published just recently between 2007 and 2016, they tested over 776 products marketed as dietary supplements, and they contain hidden active ingredients that are unsafe or unstudied. And we hear this all the time, people that have taken supplements before and they don't get the results. And all of a sudden they start taking good quality products and they're getting results. And these are the stories that started to happen within my family and my friends and a lot of people that I worked with on the police force. They started to get results when I started to share the Neolife difference, okay? So Neolife is a name you can trust. First of all, been around since 1958. I was in awe that I had never heard about Neolife. Pharmaceutical license for manufacturing. So our products are regulated like drugs. We're not drugs, but we're regulated like drugs. And in 62 years, we've never been in trouble. This is really important, especially for athletes, professional athletes as well. Established in over 50 countries. We have a lot of firsts in the industry, and we have a scientific advisory board, the most respected team of scientists and doctors, published in several peer-reviewed medical journals. And these are the doctors that they don't just endorse the product. They're involved in manufacturing and researching and developing the product, okay? And Dr. First was our founding member and senior member of our scientific advisory board, one of the top toxicologists, one of the top pharmacologists in the world, okay? He was the co-founder of oral chemotherapy, but he got away from drug research and dedicated the rest of his life to prevention because he knew food, especially dark colored fruits and vegetables, played a big role in protecting our cells from oxidizing. And for athletes breathe in a lot more oxygen, so there's a lot more free radical hits, a lot more oxidative damage. So athletes need more antioxidants. I'm going to talk a lot about that as we go through the presentation, and I'll talk about some of the scientists as we go along. Dr. Liz Applegate, so grateful to have her part of our team. Nationally renowned expert on nutrition and fitness, is a faculty member in the nutrition department and the director of sports nutrition at the University of California at Davis. She has written numerous articles in Runner's World magazine. She understands nutrition, and later on in her career, she discovered Neolife and was in awe of the science behind the product. And when you hear her speak on some of our presentations, you can really hear the passion. And she's so grateful to be part of a company like Neolife because of the philosophy and the integrity of the company. Big difference. And then Dr. Diane Clayton, she's a biochemist, nutritionist, and health practitioner as well, and an athlete. So it's really cool to have some of our scientists very active and very healthy. So they know what it takes when it comes to supplementation. And the whole philosophy behind the Neolife products were not just natural, because natural could be anything from the earth. They focus on whole foods. So all the nutrients are derived from food, and they follow Mother Nature's blueprint and non-GMO since 1958. Very, very, very important. So I'm going to have Shelley now just share about what supplements cannot do and what they can do.
Thanks, Nada. And I will say, I'm so grateful to have been on these products for 12 years because people have been saying, as I've been doing the healing process, even the second day, my sister, who's a nurse, said, "You're way too chipper for having broken your leg yesterday." And then a registered massage therapist came yesterday and went, "Wow, your leg, the inflammation is amazing, so much less than I would have expected." So there's a lot of wonderful healing from being on these products and getting good nutrition and filling the gaps. So what a supplement cannot do is replace a poor diet. You need to eat well. It doesn't replace poor training, and it certainly can't replace your genetics. But what they can do is they can fill the nutritional gaps in the diet, and they can support your tissue growth and repair. They can reduce the inflammation. They can support recovery from training, support your immune system, maximize training efforts, and maximize your natural potential. We want to get the most out of our bodies for sure. And this product, the Pro Vitality, oh my gosh, I just love how it is all put together. Such a solution for our nutritional gaps. And the first product there, those grain oils, that's exactly what Nada was talking about, the TreaNN. They are your essential fatty acids, which are taken out, as she had mentioned. And Dr. Segal, way back in 1994, said that this was perhaps the most important health problem in America because people don't realize what more their cells can do. So it helps promote cellular energy and efficiency. Each box is equivalent to 35 pounds of whole grain extracts, gluten-free, GMO-free, and so amazing for balancing hormones, for energy. And this was the one thing that really, after teaching 32 years, the Canada Food Guide, this isn't in the curriculum. And when I heard the science and I learned about, really, they've taken that, even when you're having whole grains, you don't get your grain oils. Like that just really stuck to me as being a really key thing that I wanted to share with people so that they knew about the grain oils. And this is why it works. So on the left, you have your unhealthy cell, where your grain oils are taken out. So the nutrients get in, they can't all get in. They don't turn into nutrition for our cells. They kind of float around in our body and some get in and some don't, and they kind of pass through. And then you have the toxins that get stuck in your body and can't get out. So if your cells are sluggish, you feel sluggish. Introduce those grain oils through TreaNN, and all of a sudden the outside of your cell is malleable. You get the nutrients going in, turning into nutrition. You get the waste going out, and your cells start working the way that they're supposed to work. And so Texas A&M University, they showed by doing a test with the TreaNN that when you put that back into your body, nutrient utilization or absorption went up 50%. So if you're eating well, can you imagine getting 50% more absorption? How much more energy that's going to give you? And so I brought this back just to say that how well it works for that recovery, the inflammation aspect, helps the immune system. It really helps to get those cells making the sterols getting in so our cells work so much better. So Nada, carotenoids, oh my goodness, that's another important one when you talk about immune for sure.
All right, thank you, Shelley. Well, the reason why I love talking about carotenoids is I think I mentioned I had environmental allergies to the point where I was using antihistamines year round. And when I started looking at carotenoids for the immune system, incredible results. And carotenoids are powerful antioxidants that help repair damage from free radicals. And again, being an athlete, you're breathing in more free radicals. There's more damage. The carotenoids they're the dark colored fruits and vegetables. They help prepare mitochondrial damage from aerobic respiration. So again, you're breathing in more oxygen as an athlete again, okay? Supports body's mechanism to maintain strong immune capacity during periods of intense training and stress. And for myself, that I was having stress with exercise, but also with shift work, right? So there was a combination of things that were causing stress on my body and stress on myself. So carotenoids fill the gap again. The USDA and the CDC, they proved that the Neolife carotenoid complex would boost your immune system 37% in just 20 days. And you're getting one of these capsules in this little pack. And after a month, the antioxidant power is equivalent to consuming 80 pounds of raw fruits and vegetables in every box. And it was published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, presented at the New York Academy of Sciences, and it was patented. And it's made from carrots and tomatoes and peppers and spinach and apricots and peaches. So all your food, all your dark colored fruits and vegetables, whereas not a lot, but there's some products out there that are making carotenoids not from food. They're making them from marigolds. So this is, again, we stay within the human food chain. Very, very important. And it protects you from oxidizing. So as an athlete, again, every cell takes about 10,000 hits a day of free radicals. And athletes probably 10 times more than this. So an unprotected cell, oxidative damage. Protected cell, you're protecting your cells from rusting from the inside out. So it helps to slow aging. And again, clinically proven to boost your immune system 37% in just 20 days. So there's other nutrients that Neolife has. I mean, the carotenoids are part of that phytonutrient family. There's also flavonoids and cruciferous. So this is for a really high-end athlete. This is something you can add on as well. And, you know, we should be eating a variety, diverse colored fruits and vegetables, not just broccoli every day or not just blueberries every day. It should be a variety of, you know, your berries with your grapefruit and oranges. And so citrus along with cruciferous vegetables, which are your smelly vegetables when you cook them, your broccoli and Brussels sprouts. And so it's that variety of fruits and vegetables that we should be eating every single day. And this is a product, again, the PhytoDefense just helps to fill those nutritional gaps that we can't get enough of. So now I get to talk about another one of my faves, and I think this is a product that's really helping Shelly with her recovery. And I know for me and my mom, this is the omega-3 played a big role in inflammation. It helped me with my joint pain. We've had so many testimonials with migraines and headaches. And, you know, what's different though about the omega-3 fish oil from Neolife, it has all 8 omega-3. Okay, not just EPA and DHA. Tested for over 200 contaminants with an allowance of 0. This is so important. So I was so comfortable taking this product during my pregnancy. My kids took it when they were babies, and now they're, you know, in their 20s. And this product here made a huge impact in both my kids. I'm going to share their story as we go further along. But I would love now to have Heather Lacrosse share her testimonial, incredible story on how the products have helped her with her athletic performance and just staying active. Heather, are you there?
Yes, yeah, I am here. Thank you. So yes, I'm Heather Lacrosse, and I don't consider myself an athlete, but I love sports, and I've been active like in all kinds of different activities most of my life. But on top of that, I've also had joint issues most of my life. It seems to run in my family: chronic back pain, bad knees, sprained ankles, all through my childhood. And then in high school, I dislocated my shoulder several times and I was forced to give up all my sports. Well, then in my 30s, I was teaching in school and I had a bad knee injury playing basketball. It resulted in torn cartilage and ligaments. And for years, I couldn't even come close to kneeling on the floor or play any sports at all. And I suffered episodes of my back going out, immobilized, unable to function because I had degenerated discs in my lower back. So many of us, as we age, we limit our activities due to wear and tear on the joints. And other issues is simply energy and stamina. Well, when I was introduced to Neolife back in 1998, 23 years ago, I was really tired all the time. I didn't exercise. I could hardly make it through my days of full-time teaching, managing a household with my husband and 2 daughters. I was 46 years old. Well, it only took a few weeks on the equivalent of what we have now is the breakfast pack for me to feel a big difference in my energy levels. I felt more positive and I could get out for walks and exercise and even teach Tai Chi classes after work. Well, I added extra salmon oil plus and full motion to deal with the inflammation and the joint pain. Well, I'm 68 now and I golf, I curl, still using the sliding delivery. I started playing pickleball just a couple of years ago and Nordic pole walk about 20 kilometers a week. And I can easily kneel down to garden and especially play with my grandchildren. Well, I love to snowshoe. And for the last 4 years, I've done a 5-kilometer snowshoe race. So I started when I was 64 doing these snowshoe races. It's a challenging course through woods with lots of hills. And although I've always said I'm not a runner, I push myself to do my best time every year. Well, last year I took 7 minutes off my time from the year before, and I placed first in my category, which was women over 60. And this year, the course, they changed the course. So there was double the elevation gain, lots more hills. And I still did the 5K at the same pace as last year. To help with stamina and energy, to my regular Pro Vitality and Neolife Shake and the B Complex. I add Neolife Endurance, which is that extra iron that you talked about, the bars. In fact, I take one with me on the race so I can eat it through the race. The Neolife Tea, CoQ10, All-C, and Phyto Defense. So although I'm aging every year, just like everybody else, I feel energized, strong, and I really enjoy the great outdoors with health and vitality. And I really want my friends to take it too, so I have people to play with.
Oh, Heather, that was awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know we've seen you in magazines, and you're even featured in our Healthy Living. And anyways, thank you so much. There's definitely hope for people that are not active right now, that want to get active and stay active as they're aging. So
that's it. I want to inspire them and give them hope.
You got it. I like to say we're aging gracefully, right? So, and I know the fish oil played a big role. Even I know you were a migraine sufferer as well, and no more headaches. And so very, very important. And again, all 8 omega-3, that is one of the biggest differences in the Neolife salmon oil. Most of the omega-3s only have the EPA and DHA out there. So again, inflammation is the key, reducing inflammation, and the omega-3 will do that. And it was proven to reduce the inflammatory index 68% in just 8 weeks. And that's the Neolife Salmon Oil Plus. The last little capsule is the multivitamin. So I like to call this Pro Vitality like a Cadillac of multis, okay? I'm just gonna quickly share a little bit of my story with my kids. Both my kids were very athletic growing up, football, basketball. Luke has had a severe, couple of severe injuries, concussion, snowboarding, fell on his face, pushed his eye back. They said he'd need several surgeries to get that healed. Anyways, long story short, took him to Sick Kids I think it was every other week. No surgery. They said the recovery and the healing was amazing. He even cracked the bone behind his eye and healed incredibly. We just increased the products, and that made a huge, huge difference. He's also a quarterback for a football team, played for many years. And his first game of the season, one season, sprained his ankle so bad, they took him off the field. They said he'd be out for about 6 to 8 weeks. He just looked at me and said, Mom, what do I do? Put him on high amounts of salmon oil. He was back playing in 2 weeks. Incredible recovery with his ankle. And my older boy had a serious fall, a serious concussion and brain injury. And they gave him a 4 to 6 month window recovery. And he was home after 6 weeks with being on a lot of Neolife products. So I am a true believer of the products because of the recovery that have happened with both boys with the injury, and they are now true believers, even though they took it for granted all their life as young children, but the products have made a huge impact in their life. And I'm going to have Joan, I'd love for you to share Winston's story, because he has an incredible journey as well, being on the products and helping his performance.
Yeah, well, Winston has been taking the product since he was in his 40s, and he started doing half marathons at 50. But I just remembered, as you were talking about the injury, he did have an injury before he started his half marathons. He was training my daughter at hockey, and I think his skate fell into a rut, right, in the ice, and he banged his knee into the boards. So he, even after that, he recovered from that, and he was able to do half marathons. So he's done 14 since from the time he was 50. And as he got older, he would keep setting his personal best times. And the products helped him with endurance and recovery. And, you know, even after the half marathon, he would come home and help me prepare dinner. And he never took time off from work, and he never complained. So while he would be on his run, he'd put aloe drink in his bottle for the electrolytes. He'd have a Neolife bar with him, and then he'd have a shake and some fruit after the run. And some of the things he took for endurance were the protein shakes, vitamin E, and of course, the endurance product. And in terms of quick recovery, he had really quick recovery by using the salmon oil plus, because it reduces the inflammation, you heal faster. The protein shake, of course, to help with repairing right away. And the vitamin E as well healed. It also, vitamin E helped with the endurance because it takes oxygen to your muscle, and that helped him as well. So yeah, he continues to run and stay healthy, and he's running not every day, but you know, after lunch he runs at work. So yeah,
And
that's
Joan, you know, just I missed this piece because you know you having a nursing background, you know the importance of good nutrition, and you always say you've left the sickness industry and entered the wellness industry.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
prevention is
Being proactive, right?
proactive.
Helping people to be proactive. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're
Joan.
welcome.
I really appreciate it. Say hi to Winston for us. We miss him.
Okay.
So, you know, again, being active and protein. Protein is so critical. Adults over 19 years of age with little or no exercise need 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram or 0.36 grams per body pound of body weight per day. Okay, so just some numbers, because I know some people say, well, how much protein do I actually need? And the average adult is between 0.8 to 1.3, okay, or 0.36 to 0.6 grams per pound of body weight per day. So this means anywhere between 56 to 91 grams per day for the average male and 46 to 75 grams per day an average for average female. Okay, so just to give you an idea how much protein. And you know, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, Dietitians of Canada and the American College of Sports Medicine recommend 1.2 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day for athletes, depending on training. And protein intake should be spaced throughout the day and after workouts. Okay, so really important. Endurance athletes have the highest needs. Okay, so really important. But the quality of protein is what we're really trying to help you understand. So the Neolife shake is all natural. Okay, has all 22 amino acids. It has a protein digestibility amino acid score. And that's a tongue twister, but let me tell you, this is the key to why this protein works. A 1 is a perfect score. So that means the body can break it down, use the proteins, and do the repair. Ours is rated a 1.73, which is more than 1. Okay, so it's easy to digest and it works. 18 grams of protein per serving, includes the branched chain amino acids, 5 grams of protein, vitamins and minerals, whole food antioxidants. So it is a complete meal replacement. That's why it's great for kids, especially for those picky eaters in the morning for breakfast. It has a glycemic control response. This is where the energy comes in. It keeps that blood sugar in that glycemic control zone, 4 to 6 hours of sustained energy. Okay, no artificial anything, no high fructose corn syrup, no gluten, no cholesterol, no saturated fats, 90% lactose free, and no GMO ingredients. Okay, then we have our sports protein. So I use this product after I exercise. So I have the Neolife shake for breakfast, before I go to the gym or before I work out, and the sports performance I do after. So there's some athletes that need that little extra boost after exercise. It has a little more protein, so 26 grams of protein. It has your branched chain amino acids, a little higher, 2.6 grams of leucine, and it has the glutamine and the glutamatic acid. So again, this is important for immune function. Okay, very, very important for the immune system. So you have nutrients for muscle building and nutrients for strengthening the immune system. And this is an incredible product, Sport Protein. It comes in vanilla. It's a complete protein again. Again, all your vitamins and minerals, sweetened naturally, protein sparing, carbo 1-to-1 ratio. Again, easy to digest with the ProtoGuard process. Has the enzymes in there, no artificial anything. Because I know there's a lot of sport products out there that are full of color and dye and artificial nutrients. So, and has that glycemic control, just like the Neolife shake. So I'm gonna have Shelley share a little bit of knowledge for athletes, because I think this is really important as well for some of the dangerous stimulants that are out there.
Yeah, because I think it is really important, Nada, that we have clarity as to what's in the product. So the promise from Neolife is that there's no potentially dangerous stimulants. There's no artificial anything, no artificial colors, flavors, sweeteners, or preservatives. It is guaranteed to be free of any substance currently banned by the National Collegiate Athletic Association, the International Olympic Committee, and the World Anti-Doping Agency. And I just want to add to that, because in Canada, we have something called Certified for Sport. It's the NSF, certifies various products to make sure that they are safe to be used in Canada. And what they compare the products against is the World Anti-Doping Agency. So when I talked down at Neolife, just to kind of say, well, do you know what, are you going to these different agencies and making sure that they're passed by this and the NSF and different things? Their answer was, you know what, there's just so many, because they're in over 50 countries in the world, for them to do them individually. But the fact that they are guaranteed by the World Anti-Doping Agency means then that they would be guaranteed and passed by them, because these people, the NSF, make sure that everything clears the world, what WADA says. So just so that there's some clarification just for what's happening in Canada, sports-wise, and what's happening by the Canadian Centre for Ethics in Sports. The fact that these products are okay by—
Get asked that from some of the professional. Sorry, we do get asked that from some of the professional athletes. So, when you look at the total wellness solution, we talked about a lot of products, but I always like to say, start with the basic and start with the foundation, like most of us do. And then depends on your performance. It depends on your activity level. If you need more, it depends on your diet, right? And, if you're not willing to make some of the dietary changes, then you might have to add a little more to your supplementation program. So it really depends on where you're at and the level. If you're just wanting to get a little more active and you have, some mild inflammation in the body, then start with the basics and add a little extra salmon oil. And there's a couple of other things that we're going to talk about, but the cells, if there's inflammation and free radical oxidation, then your energy is going to be compromised and the mitochondria is going to be compromised. This is where CoQ10 comes in. It's the spark of life. This is something that many of us are deficient in, and our CoQ10 levels decline with age, okay? This is something that Neolife launched just recently. We're the only natural CoQ10 on the market, and it does help with producing energy to the cell, okay? So really, really important. Absorption within 2 minutes. So a lot of CoQ10s out there, you don't get the same results, okay? Again, absorbs in the body within 2 minutes. So important for mitochondrial energy. And that's very important for athletes, okay? So another nutrient, I know, Joan, you talked about this, vitamin E for circulation. And again, oxidation protects the cells from oxidizing. And the Neolife vitamin E has all 8 members of the vitamin E family. Okay, most just have the 2 parts. They're called tocopherols and tocotrienols. Neolife gives you all 8. So again, whole food derived, very important. Vitamin C is very important for athletes as well, for oxidative damage, for the body to do proper repair as well, muscle repair, soreness. And one of our vitamin C's is like equivalent to eating 4 whole tree ripened oranges. So very powerful antioxidant. Okay, I know I keep saying my favorite product, but let me tell you, if it wasn't for this product, I would not be lifting weights and squatting like I do and doing kickboxing. So the Full Motion is definitely a hit for me. And this is my dearest friend, Debbie Abbott. Some of you have met her before. We were police officers together. We graduated police college together. We rode motorcycles together. And unfortunately, she was in a motorcycle accident on duty. Her foot was severed. They pinned it back and they told her she'd have no motion or mobility in her ankle. She was petrified, but the good news is she was already taking Neolife, because we started taking Neolife, I think 2 years prior to this accident. And she just said to me, bring it on. I went to the hospital. She said, just tell me what the scientists are telling you for me to take, Nat. And anyways, we were so lucky. She was on the products, and then shortly after, we launched a product called Full Motion in Canada. And they asked me if I knew somebody that would do a test study. Debbie, I said, Debbie's got to try this product. incredible results. Her physiotherapist could not believe the motion and the mobility after 3 months of taking this product. She was able to do a light jog, and they told her she'd never be able to put a lot of weight on that ankle. Long story short, she became a staff sergeant. She ended her career on the police force in uniform, where they told her that she probably would not be able to be in uniform again. Amazing recovery. And I know Shelley also has an amazing, this is how I met Shelley, because of this product.
Well, that's right, because at this time when I met Nada, I was having joint pains. I had my knees scoped in my 20s, and all of a sudden in my 40s, I was having some joint pain again. And I thought, oh, I don't want surgery again. What are my other options? I had looked at synthetics. I had looked at natural products. I had looked at drugs, spent 2 years trying different things, either worked for a bit and stopped, or didn't work at all. Nada mentioned this full motion, and I thought, oh, what the heck, I wore braces, neoprene braces on my knees. And so I tried the full motion, and within a month, I was back running. The pain was gone. I thought, oh, well, I'll give it another month, it'll stop. I'm like, no, it's still, I do not have the pain. I then I learned about the Salmon Oil Plus and added that in. And within a year, I no longer wore those neoprene braces. And I don't know if you noticed on my picture holding the bike, I did not have my first year, I wore the neoprene braces. 2 years later, I didn't wear them. And 12 years later, I still don't wear them. Mm-hmm. So those are the two products that I upped, as you said. As soon as I broke my leg, up those, added some other ones, and we'll see where this journey goes. But I have full confidence that I'll be back soon.
And you've heard Joan talk about the Endurance. This is a product that really helped me as well for energy. It's like the liver product. It circulates oxygen to the muscles, so it's great for athletes. And you can take this product, like if you're doing a 2 or 3 hour race while you're working out, before working out, after working out, it just, again, gives you that extra energy and support that you need. Then there's a Biotone, which is also for muscle retention and lipid mobilization. And it's designed to work while you sleep, and it helps you sleep as well, more of a restful sleep. So there's other products available in these little packs for, again, high performance athletes. They're in convenient little packs for athletes that want something a little more. There's also a really cool website, neolifeathletes.com, where some of our athletes share their testimonials. And then we have, some amazing talks that you can hear from John Miller talking about nutrition and sports, Justin Oliver, who's an athletic trainer and coach as well, and a baseball scout, and Lisa Blackburn. Some of you know her, world record holder for swimming, and she has an amazing story in how the Neolife products have helped her with her training and swimming as well. So what I would like to do now is just share with you, how do you get a hold of these products? I know there's some of you that are looking at this for the first time. And when I looked at Neolife 33 years ago, I was so excited to try the product for my family and for myself. I just wanted the health benefits, and I was excited that I could just join as a member just to use the product. I was not interested in looking at a business opportunity. I was actually quite skeptical about the industry and direct selling and MLM and that word. And I didn't understand it, but I had this fear and I didn't want to get involved, but I wanted the product. So I started taking the products. The results were incredible. I started sharing my story with family, friends, a lot of police officers and their wives, and I started to grow this business, and I fell in love with the company, and I researched the company and the integrity of the company and the science, and it was something that I could just do. I did it part-time, and the business just started to grow. So you can join for free like I did and just use the products and get a discount. As soon as you become a member, you get 15% off. And some of those products we talked about, like the vitamin pack or the breakfast pack that we talked about, if you go on auto ship, because it's a month supply, you get wholesale price, which is a 25% savings. And when you go on auto ship, you get all your shipping back. So we have a loyalty program in place and a great referral program. I have a lot of customers that love the products and they just share it with some family and friends. And when you have 3 people on one of those packs, you get your health pack free every single month. So again, it's free to join. You get wholesale price, you get a website. So these are the basic health packs. So, if you're looking for just a great multivitamin pack, That Pro Vitality has the grain oil, the fish oil, the multivitamin in the carotenoid in this one little convenient pack. If you're looking for the protein, you add that. It's called the breakfast pack. And that's the most popular pack, is the breakfast pack. And then if you're looking at losing some weight, we have the Shape Up pack, which is to help you lose weight. But again, the breakfast pack is definitely the best seller and the foundation, and you can build on that foundation if you're looking at a little bit more as an athlete. Oops. So what I want to share, so this is a 3 for free program. So you refer 3, you get your pack free. There's also a community on Facebook called Neo Life Healthy Living Community, and Shelly's story is there. Joan, I think Winston's story is in there. Amazing testimonials from athletes. Recently, we had a football player from the NFL share his journey on the products. He had a back injury and how the products have helped him in his football career. And that interview is on this site. So this is a great community for people just to hear the testimonials and see the science on the product. So if you're looking at researching and checking out some of the stories, this is something that we have to invite you to this group. You have to accept, and then you have access to look at all the stories and the great testimonials in this group. And again, one more option. If you or someone you know enjoys helping others, and this was where I was at in my life. I mean, I thought I was going to be a police officer for the rest of my life, but there was something missing in my life. I wanted more. I wanted to really have an impact. And when I saw the impact that these products were making on me and my family, I knew that I could do this business and leave my job. So I was able to leave my job. So if you're looking at, just earning a little bit of money, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, you can start this business for as little as $100. And that's all I did. I just shared and built a business where I was able to leave my job, and my husband was able to leave his job after 15 years of policing as well. And Shelly, in your retirement, I mean, you're having a purpose.
Oh, absolutely. That was the big thing after 32 years. I mean, I love teaching. And when I left that and lost my community because we had moved and, my neighbors and everything, it was kind of like, well, where do I go from here? But it was wonderful to still be connected with my Neo Life family, and then shift my educating and helping others from the classroom to just the community. So that's been really exciting to continue as part of that, and be able to do donations to different causes that are near and dear to my heart, and do some traveling to stay connected with family. And so, yeah, it's been a wonderful journey and a lot of fun with helping a lot of people. So
Awesome.
Yeah, so there is a great website called The Ideal Business, where you can check that out if you want some more stories to hear, why this might be an option for you or somebody that because there's lots of people who are looking now to be able to do things from home, just with everything that's going on in the world, for sure. So if you came, just for the education and the information, we thank you for joining us. If you came because you want to look at some of the products and to get them at a discount, talk with the person who invited you. If you're looking for something to do part-time or full-time or as an additional income stream for what you already do, that's an option as well. And if this isn't for you, that's okay too. I hope you learned something tonight that you can carry over into your day to stay healthy and to be active. So we're going to stop the recording, and then if anybody has any questions, then we can ask them afterwards. Because I do see a couple of.
Stop the recording.